Hello and welcome to my channel again. Today I would like to talk about working moms in Switzerland, in particular what benefits and what downsides it has to work in Switzerland when you're also a mother. Of course, this depends a lot on the particular background, on the job, on the fact are you from Switzerland originally or you moved to Switzerland, but I will just give some observations. So Switzerland, as a very rich country, has a lot of job opportunities, and the unemployment rate is extremely low. It's around 2%. So most of the people really find a job, and most of the jobs are with a fine enough salary to work. So often it's not mentioned that Switzerland still has quite a few poor people by their standards. It's around 8%. Of course, what's defined as poor in Switzerland is probably not the same as in some countries that are not as rich, but still they have a good part of population that has a low salary for the Swiss standard. However, as mentioned, most of the people find a job and could live well. And this is also true for families, especially the families that have both parents. If you have mother or father that are alone, this is a different topic, and as in any country, this is also hard in Switzerland, also socially but also financially. But if we look at a family that has both parents and what happens to the job of the mother. So basically in Switzerland, the mother would get 3 months maternity leave if she was working. This is paid, this is guaranteed by the government, and very little number of companies would extend this. So for example, the universities usually give 4 months, Google gives 6 months, and probably there are a few more examples. But what is guaranteed is this 3 months. And afterwards, if the company does not give you a paid prolonged leave, maybe you manage to get few more months of unpaid leave. So the women that can often take maybe 6 months in total. Now, what is characteristic of Switzerland is that they are pretty traditional in the sense of family. So they believe that not all of Swiss people, but in general, the law is set up in such a way that one person, that this is usually a mother, should stay at home with children. And this is until at least the age of 4, which is when the preschool starts. And the way that this is set up and kind of spread in the society is both for financial and the social reasons. So financially, as mentioned, it's enough that you have only 3 months maternity leave. First of all, you do not want to put a baby in a daycare with 3 months if you do not have to. They are too small. So usually mothers want to stay longer, and often they cannot stay longer than maybe 6 months, which means that they have to leave their work and not be paid and also not work for some while. The other thing is what I mentioned in the other video, the so-called Heiratsstrafe. This is like a punishment for marriage, how it's called here. And this is if, so if your partner and you are married, then you pay higher taxes than if you're not married. And this is because the salaries are added, and like this, the salary hits a higher bracket because the taxation in Switzerland is progressive. And so if you add the salary of a woman to the salary of a man, usually it hits a bracket of higher taxation. It goes up to 40% for parts of your salary. So when you look at from the perspective of finances, if the woman would go back to work, for example, when the baby is 6 months old, there are going to be 2 costs. One is the daycare, which is extremely expensive, usually around 2,500 francs per month if a child would go every day. And the other one is the higher taxes, because now you have a salary as a woman, so your salary is added to the salary of a man. And these higher taxes, together with the daycare costs, usually come up to the amount of the woman's salary, if it's an average salary. So except if the woman has a very good salary, it usually does not make almost any financial benefit for the woman to work, which is often a reason why the women just do not even consider going back to work after the baby is born, so they make at least a certain break. And very often, this is what I see, very often at least until the age of the preschool. Very many women who have university degrees or who have worked before, they do not work once they have children. And this makes also a kind of a social and a cultural influence on the women who would maybe like to work, because they see that the other kids are with their moms and they are out on the playgrounds when the woman who works have to be on work, and their child is taken care of by strangers. Of course, this especially is for the foreigners who come to Switzerland, because they often do not have the support. So it's a different story if you have a support in Switzerland and you do not have to send your child to the daycare, then maybe you find a solution with grandparents or cousins that works for all of you. But in general, the way it is set up, it's not encouraging women to go back to work, at least not for some while after the child is born. And if then afterwards, often in a very low percent, maybe 20 to 50 or 60%. And in general, the daycare is not considered a thing your child should go to in Switzerland. It's like, yeah, if you really have to send your child. So most of the people I know from here, they would send their child maybe 2 days. So if you send more, you're feeling bad. So this is something that, in my opinion, Switzerland could work on. In general, as I said, there are lots of job opportunities. So for women who want to work, there are lots of part-time jobs, but there is a struggle psychologically and financially. And this is a problem because there is lack of workforce in Switzerland, and these women could really bring something to the economy, and maybe also be more fulfilled, at least if the child is 1 year of age and could freely go to the daycare without much worry. So it's something to definitely that Switzerland could consider in the future to change. Another thing is that so there is this first phase when for women, many women decide not to go to work, but also when the kids are older. As I mentioned, in school, you need to support your child. If you want them to be good in school, you often really need to support them. And they have these lunch breaks. And also, again, the daycare in school after the school hours is not so popular, although many kids, of course, go. So there it also comes at the later stages when your kids are older. It's also always this questioning of should I send a child so long in the school? Should I be more at home? Does my job make sense financially or otherwise? So it's really a bit of a struggle, and this is from talking to other women, what I've seen. It's really a bit of a struggle for women to find herself in a workforce if she's a mother. So it would be appreciated to have more support for that. So maybe in Switzerland something will change soon. One of the things that they're trying to change now is this punishment for marriage in terms of taxation. So they're trying now to do the taxation separately. So maybe something with the maternity leave also comes in the future. Thank you.